Who is Matt Gunkel?
Well, he's my best friend.
Matt is my younger brother.
He's a calming soul.
He has a gentleness about him that I think is rare in people.
A part of the family.
He gives Dominic the attention that a 15, 16-year-old kid deserves and wants and desires.
Is Mr. Matt your best buddy?
Yeah. When I first met him, he had like this teeny little red Riften bike, and he used to fly around on that thing. And that was when he was actually starting to go through a growth spurt. And during that time, he outgrew everything. He outgrew his stander, he outgrew his gait trainer, and then he outgrew his bicycle. Growing up, I always flew around on my bike as a kid. I know how important it is to kids. And an adaptive bike for him was like $5,000. And so insurance covers his gait trainer, insurance covers his new bed, but the bike doesn't get covered. You know, and it's right around that time where he also developed type 1 diabetes, in addition to everything else he had going on. It's hard to talk about that because him getting diabetes, because he already had a rough shake. And kind of in my mind, I knew I had to get him back on a bike because it relaxes his tone, his spasticity. When he rides a bike, he can actually relax when he's done.
Matt had decided that he was gonna spearhead a fundraising campaign for Dominic to get this bike, and he basically told me he wasn't gonna stop until it happened.
My brother, when he decided that he thought that Dominic needed a bike, he was on a warpath.
I set up a GoFundMe page, and it just kind of took off, and people were coming from all over the place. I mean, it was just, you know, my friends and family, their friends and family, people that knew him, people that didn't know him. I called anybody I could. I reached out to Channel 6 News. I reached out to local businesses.
He didn't give up, he didn't surrender, and he just kept pounding the doors.
I'm like, I cannot believe the outpouring of help. When everything was said and done, my brother Dave came in. He just walked in with the last $100 bill, and it put him right over the final price, plus $50 to get him adaptive gloves, and I couldn't believe it.
The night that we reached the goal, he lost it. He was like practically bouncing off the walls. It wasn't even for him. It was for Dominic. Who does that for something that's not even for them?
There's just something about him that just makes you want to do good things.
He did it because he knew that it was going to be beneficial for Dominic. How do you thank somebody for doing that? How do you let them know how much you appreciate them? The only way I thought of trying to thank him was by nominating him for this award.
Matt is so selfless. He would do what you need him to do if you asked him in a heartbeat. He's a hero in my eyes.
He's an amazing person in my life. He's just my best friend. He's like, I've known him since I was 13. And we've been together about 20 years. And I love you.
Love you too, Laura.
You're a very special person, and I couldn't imagine my life without you.
If everybody was as kind and understanding as Matt, this world would just be a fantastic place.
I have lots of pride from Matt, and it makes me really happy to know that. See, I believed the people that did good things, but that weren't on the top, would never get noticed. I was wrong. That's it. I'm happy to see finally someone that's doing nice and good things for people getting noticed for a change.
When we're out there together, we get to let go of everything that's going on and just be in the moment. There's nothing better.
I told Matt that anything in life you get caught up in what it is and in the moment, and I said that life is so short, enjoy it, don't stress about it, because you're gonna look back and wish that you had enjoyed that moment when everybody could look at him and see what a great guy he is. Take that 5 minutes and enjoy it, because it'll be gone like this. Take a drink, calm your nerves, and enjoy it, because it's one of those once-in-a-lifetime moments that will stay with you. You earned it. That's yours, Matt.